this is not actually contested side. He goes back and around left. Very great call. Phenomenal call. Easily expect them to be a top 3 team. Thank you for clicking on this video. What this is a floor review. It is a floor VOD review solely for the fact that I sold my desk because I'm moving and I'm going to be VOD reviewing for the next 10 days. But today we are focusing on visuals and braids. Now, this is a very good team. They ended up getting 5th in yesterday's opens of the Duo Cash Cup. They ended up getting 3 elims. Now, let's first, if this is for yourself, if you are VOD reviewing your own games, your match history is going to tell you exactly what you need to work on. As we can see with their match history, they have 8 games played. So, straight off the bat, they have a 9 minutes alive, a 3 minutes alive, telling us that their off-spawn fights maybe not the greatest. The mid-game fights, this is 9 minutes alive, also not the greatest. But they may prove us wrong, so let's get into it. Alright, so it looks like braids and visuals are landing this split drop that is northeast of Grim Gate. Immediately what he does is he grabs a burst SMG and goes for some shots. That's fine. I just feel like that wastes time, realistically. Let's say he tags one of those guys for 30. He's not going to kill there. He's not, like, sure, you can get 30 Storm Surge, but you can also just fight a team for Surge. So, there's that. So he ends up building this big thing, and then he does the Lightning Bolt, goes way up, and he gets killed. Not the best play from visuals right there, but understandable. He didn't know that there was a team behind him. Realistically, what the best play is right there is doing what Braids is doing. Just pushing. There's no need to have lightning bolts and all of these different little things. Especially if you've practiced your 2v2 box fighting together and you see this team has a ton of wood, whatever, you can win this fight easily. That's something that they need to definitely work on. Now, this was a smart rotate. Let me show y'all this. Even though he is completely congested side, or what is known to be congested side, he's actually not. Even though you see all this space on the northeast side, this is not actually contested side. Well, it is compared to down here. But the reason that this is not contested side is because you have 2 different POIs heading into Reckless Railways. When instead if he were to go left, go the quote-unquote normal way to go dead side, he would have to go through Rebel's Roost, Lavish Lair, the Underworld, Grim Gate, Restored Reels, Pleasant, plus everyone wants to rotate towards Grim Gate to get the green. So going around to the right, going around to Reckless Railways is actually more dead side than the dead side is, just because of the amount of POIs and drop spots on this left side of the map compared to the right side of the map. They rotate over to the right side, reboot Reckless, they're able to tank zone for a little bit, and then they're able to go further down to where all that there is Mount Olympus and Brawler's Battleground. Now, in my opinion, they loot for way too long. Their entire game has been looting and rotating. 1, that's boring. 2, there's a lot of opportunity here that people like visuals and braids don't capitalize on. My thought process and my theory is that the mid game is not mastered at all. All of this stemmed from that one mistake that they made earlier with the Zeus. Instead of, if he just pushed the team that was on bunker, he would have a bunker for free, or not for free, but for 2 kills more than they have. So 4 points more than they have. And then they're in a better position. They have more loot. They have better loot. They have an easier way to rotate around where they can end up getting more kills, more Storm Surge, more everything. All of this is lucky. The fact that they did not run into anyone. Yes, it's a little bit calculated where they see, oh, hey, we're only going to go across 3 different POIs instead of 6. So that was smart. But the fact that they did not go across anyone in a Storm Surge lobby, there are just so many possibilities on what could have happened. And what they did is It won't happen every single game. If they can do better on the area that they control and then figure out how to control all of the areas around them, they will be a better team. Let's keep going. See how they rotate from this position into the end game. See how they make it to the end game. They're doing a really good job staying edge right here and working their way in. Trying to LOS all these hills, use all these builds around them, making sure no one can really see them. They take advantage of this house, start building up, getting on top of it. Now they're looking in there to see if anyone, they're actually holding their builds out to see if anyone's in here. They saw a wall was placed right here, and they end up killing this team, which is great on their part. Now that's a full refresh. Visuals jumps around. Notice how they're taking this fight from opposite sides. At every single point in time, this guy's just in between them, which is just really good fighting on their part. So now after they got that kill, this rotate is not hard whatsoever. All you have to do is go south and in towards the zone. You're more towards dead side. You do have to go as fast as possible because you see all of these teams coming down towards that area. Everyone likes these little pockets. They love these little pockets of zone because that ends up opening up. You get dead side, you will find people over here. Instead, what are they going to do? Since they have to go a little bit later than everyone else, since Visuals is having to heal, since he's having to get ready. Also, inaccuracy right here because a lot of their game, a lot of Visuals and Braid's game, they take too long. They are indecisive even though they've been in these kinds of positions 100 times over. So all they do is just they go south towards that dead side area. Now they do know that they will be in contested side a little bit, especially seeing how many people are there. They see that team behind them. Basically just rotate straight into fencing. Doesn't go down. That's very good. This is where a lot of people's downfall would be, is they would start to go down right here. A lot of people would go down into the river and more into this area, which this is not a good spot to be. For this reason, and for this reason, and this reason, and anyone that could be up here, and anyone that could be up here. Down here in the river is just really not a good spot to be. A lot of people will be coming up on this area. Ramping up on top of this brick is probably going to be your best bet, if not this brick. So let's see what Visuals and Braids do in this position. So they farm up a little bit more, get 555. A little bit unnecessary in my opinion. They just spent a little bit longer to get 20 materials whenever they should have been prioritizing rotate the entire time. They do a very good job getting elevated right here. They did not drop down. Whenever you drop down, it's a very lobbyable spot. This team to the left of them, this team in front of them, that team, that brick team right there, very, very lobbyable spot. If they just start spraying that team, everyone gets sprayed. Now this rotate is actually very good rotate. They are focusing on their surroundings. They're understanding, okay, everyone's going to gather up to that river area. So we're going to go around that river area. And we're actually going to use that elevation. We're actually going to use this area where we can LOS multiple things. They're going to hug this mountain where they can LOS. And that means line of sight. All of these players to their left. Now they are, again, a little bit slow with a lot of this. They just need to get a little bit higher. They waited too long to build. Whenever you have 555, build. If they would have invested 5 more builds, they could have saved that 30 HP, which ends up being a big thing later on. But they should be a little bit higher. They should have started building a little bit sooner. If they got a little bit higher, if they honestly just got up there, they would be in a much better spot for next rotate. I think going up a little bit behind them is a better choice. It just allows you to see a little bit more. You would be able to hold more teams. Okay. All right. Next zone pops. What do? What is the optimal rotate here? Let's look at the map. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see where everyone is whenever we open up our own map, but they are right here. Zone pulls. Honestly, in this position, whenever you are already behind so many people, which he can see through his cone how many people there are. But whenever you are already so far behind everyone else, just wait. Just wait a little bit longer. Everyone will forget that you are there. So he sees that kill. He wants it. God damn, I did not know the burst SMG did that. You see this team's already tarping forward with wood. That's an alright play. You hear a lot of people are starting to rotate. This is where you should be playing your rotate. Now they see this team fighting in front of them. Let's pull up drone free real quick. In this position, what should you look for? Number one, where is height? Height is up here. Is there another height? Yes, height is back here. You could see people Flowberry Fizz. You could see most likely Flowberry Fizz and Dash right there. This team probably has Dash or Flowberry Fizz. But you can see they're already starting to rotate. This team in front of them got in a little scuffle, got in a little fight. So they should be wary that people will be looking back to try to look at that fight. All right, so they know contested side is going to be this top side where they are. Why is that? Because the entire map, Rebels Roost, the Underworld, Grimgate, Restored Reels, Reckless Railways, Lavish Lair, Pleasant Piazza, everywhere has to go down into that. Also, half and half popped. This was the half that had the zone in it. So they know that this top half is going to be extremely contested, especially this top left side. So making sure that they go a little bit more right is going to be a better play here. What I would do in this position, because you don't know where zone's going to pop to next. Zone, let me show y'all where zone is real quick. This is the middle of zone right here where I am. We don't know where zone's going to go. We don't know if zone's going to pull towards that river. We don't know if zone's going to pull up towards the railways. It's basically a 50-50 shot on where it goes. So the best place to be is around right here, where it's going to be the easiest to go this way and the easiest to go this way. Let's see what Visuals and Braids does. They go forward. Now, them going straight forward in this position, not the greatest. For two reasons and two reasons only. Reason number one and reason number two. So, right here, I would be trying to build as soon as possible. Which he does. Perfect. Okay. Now, what to do in this position? You know that there's a team looking at you right here. Team looking at you right here. There's a guy jumping. I guarantee you there are 5 other people jumping with him right now. That's Braids. 1, 2, team behind him, right there. 3, 4. All right, 4 people. What should you do right here? Go down and left. Again, you want to get away from the people that are shooting at you. If you can get away from the people that are shooting at you, maybe go down here to this wood, and then go around to left over here. Or even go right over here. Make sure you're blocking with walls and ramps. And then maybe you want to box up directly above that metal. I think that's a solid play as well. Just making sure to invest a lot of your mats into that. That'd be a good play. But instead, we just go straight. And going straight allows us to get cracked. And then we go a little bit higher towards height. And then height's looking at us now. So we are now 62 white. Getting focused by the team below us and height. Expanding back is a good play right here. Now, what does Braids do in this position? What Braids should do in this position? Look for a shot. Try to get some counter damage if possible. Like just pre-fire that floor right here. All right, don't go over the floor. Whenever you are in this position, don't go over the floor that they are shooting on. He can go out left and meet with visuals, just expand out one more box, and that will be 10 times safer. Because if his ping isn't dead zero right there, he's dying. And the rest of their game, they actually play very well. The only thing that I would recommend, just get more kills. Is a very solid rotate, hitting your head, dropping down, going back up. They are in a phenomenal spot. All they need to do is look around, missed edit, all good. And same thing, just jumping up, elevating themselves a tiny bit. This is perfect. I mean, this is a great rotate. They end up getting this perfect. This is phenomenal. Again, hits their head, goes over a tarp, elevates themselves a tiny bit, watches their head, tarps in to the middle of zone. This is great. Looks back. I mean, this is textbook Endgame. So there's literally nothing wrong that I can say with anything about this Endgame right here. Visuals and Braids are extremely good in-game players. I mean, this is just very good. By the way, you cannot really build in certain spots in this building. So, also great refresh right there. You can't really build in certain spots in this building, so going over the building is going to be the best play, which is exactly what they do. Just very good on their part, being able to realize that, go over the building. Alright, so zone starts going up. They notice that zone starts going up the mountain, so they know they have to get up. They start going up. They see how many kids are there. He goes back and around left. Very great call. Phenomenal call. That just put them in a much, much better position. Right here, they have to either drop or go around for pressure on height. And he just ramps up. Perfect. Good. Honestly, great height take. Braids ended up dying there. Let's see what caused Braids to die right there. So what happened to Braids right here is you can see how this play is going to work. Visuals is going to go around, up and over, and be able to kill height from backside and above them in zone. And Braids is going to go around and try to PG them on front side. And just so that they can sandwich the players. Very good high take. The problem here, the main problem here, is that Braids is panicking a little bit. And you can see that because he just edits the wall and jumps up. What could have been a little bit better right here is if he shot out that wood wall. Cause a little bit more pressure on this guy that he's fighting. I'm pretty sure that's Vert, but caused a little bit more pressure on Vert, made him panic a little bit more. Would have caused Vert to start dropping. He also has no idea where the second person is, which the second person is right there. So Braids panicking a little bit right here is inevitably his downfall. Instead of him just jumping up with Flowberry and expecting to grab height, he should have built scissor ramps, built 2 walls, and flipped the ramp. And then he would pretty much have height. That was his downfall right there. So I would honestly say that this team is a very smart team. But they just need more experience fighting, more experience pressuring, and more experience under pressure. So Visuals does very good in this high take because they're so focused on Braids. That's why that high take is just so good. All of a sudden, Visuals has the whites to win the game. It's going in the last zone right here. Starts spraying down. I mean, now he's just in the perfect position to win the game, and that's exactly what he does. I mean, just he keeps pressuring, he keeps spraying, he plays his whites, and he wins. Great game to visuals and braids. Let's go over what. Sorry, the floor hurts. Let's go over what they did good and what they did bad. What did they do good? A lot. Their end game play is so great. Their rotates through all of the moving zones were phenomenal. Visuals, I'm just glazing. Now, they do that very good. So, they should stop playing scrims in general. That is not what they need to work on. They can play them maybe once, maybe twice a week. But that is not what they need to work on. What they need to work on is fighting. So they need to spend a little bit more time in creative, a lot more time doing tokens, and a lot more time just focusing on general mechanics and their fundamentals of fighting. Focusing a lot more on how to push fights, how to pressure, how to take more and better right-hand peeks. That's the main thing that they're going to need to work on, especially the pressuring part. Because that's where they start to fold as a team, and that's where they can really capitalize on as well. If Visuals and Braids works on those things for the next season, you can very easily expect them to be a top 3 team. If y'all learned anything at all, anything from this video, please subscribe, drop a like, and join my Discord, because you can send in your games and I will VOD review your games, tell you what you need to practice on for the next season in order to be the best you possibly can. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the video.